Remen wants you to know, Remen Wholesale that is, that they're hiring experienced account reps. In a market that's constantly shrinking, yes, Remen is growing. They're doing something right. So if you're thinking about making a move, talk with these guys at Remen Wholesale. Click this banner right over there. Frank's not here today because he's celebrating his anniversary with his wife, which means he gets to spend the next 3 days doing everything she wants to do. Happy wife, happy life. So you're stuck with me, and here we go. So Senator Dances with Donors Elizabeth Warren, Robert Menendez, and Brian Schartzpants are all demanding that a robust investigation take place by the CFPB regarding the Equifax breach. Now, seriously, why would hackers attack a data mining company? I mean, Equifax ought to have a bullseye as a logo. Anyways, Elizabeth Warren and company are demanding a robust investigation from the CFPB and are wondering why Trump's director Mick Mulvaney isn't doing a damn thing about it.
So long as there is no personal responsibility when these big companies breach consumers' trust, let their data get stolen, cheat their consumers like they did in the case of Wells Fargo, then nothing is going to change.
Well, you know, I have a little insight into this. I kind of know what's going on over at the CFPB, so I'm going to share it with you. So first of all, we have exhibit number 1, this piece of paper. It's an internal memo from the CFPB under Mulvaney, which states that he's not terribly interested in investigating anybody. I mean, I guess we weren't supposed to see this, but it's a wiki world and everything comes out eventually. And remember about a week ago, I asked all of you to turn in Keller Mortgage for misleading and deceptive advertising when real estate agents were marketing Keller Mortgage. And I also asked you to report Keller Mortgage for disparate impact. Do you remember that? God, I gotta say, I love you guys because you all did this in droves. Now the problem is the CFPB responded with exhibit number 2. I've got 1 and 2 here. They're boilerplate responses that say your complaints made it to their files, but that's where they're going to stay, unless we keep at it. And you know the squeaky wheel does get the lube job, doesn't it? So with that said, Garrett, can you please let our beloved audience once again know how to turn in Keller Williams right away? And by the way, only do this if you share my opinion. So if you're a Kool-Aid drinking Keller Williams agent, this means you're probably not going to do it. With that said, Garrett, would you please cue the piece? And go to consumerfinance.gov. Then in the upper right-hand corner, click on the Submit a Complaint. Then click the blue button, which states Start a Complaint. Then scroll down and click Start a Complaint again. Then check the mortgage box, which will open more boxes. Scroll down and click the other type of mortgage, and then type in the box down below, deceptive advertising and fair housing violation. Then click Next. Then click Closing on a Loan, and then Next. Then you can explain the problem here, guys, and upload the file right down below. The file, you already have it, we just gave it to you. You need to do this. Ugh. Okay, so these are the 2 reasons why Mulvaney isn't going to investigate Equifax, regardless of how much maligned Native American imposter Elizabeth Warren wants them to. And before you get mad at me for poking fun at Senator Warren, ask yourself, what's more egregious, me pointing out that she lied about being a Native American, or her using that lie to get a cush post over at Harvard University? Further, it's not that I disagree with Elizabeth Warren. In fact, I'd like the CFPB to investigate a few things, like Keller Mortgage and the Equifax breach as well. I do, however, take issue with her timing. I mean, seriously, why now? Because the Equifax breach, it took place in mid-2017 during the reign of Cordroy at the CFPB. Why not bring it up then when the wound was still fresh? I mean, she is the self-proclaimed guardian of consumers, so why not then, why now? I mean, if we're really going to split hairs on Equifax, did you guys know that they were breached in 2016 as well? Yeah, I'm not kidding you about this. This conveniently timed complaint isn't about the Equifax breach, it's about the latest Equifax breach. So if we want to split hairs, why didn't the Guardian of Consumers, Liz Warren, bring this up about a year ago at the first massive breach over at Equifax? Perhaps she's not the Guardian of Consumers, perhaps she's more the guardian of her party. Now, with that said, does Warren have a point? I just pointed out that the CFPB isn't interested in pursuing charges against any lenders. I just showed you a form of the CFPB's inaction. It's not that she's not being partisan, but does she have a point? After all, the CFPB under Cordray had a Fed board budget request of over $200 million in order to operate. Now under Mulvaney, well, he's requesting zero, nothing, nada. There's no budget whatsoever. I mean, why do you need a budget? Which would make sense if your stated goal is to actually pursue people. When you're not pursuing people, screw it, you don't need the budget, right? Further, Mulvaney is looking at basement offices and desk sharing to save costs. But this is my favorite point that I want to get to share with you guys today. Mulvaney said the agency could save up to $18.3 million if employees that do not have a business need to be in the office were required to stay home. Or to read between the lines, Mulvaney is saying if you have a job description that says do nothing, then stay at home and do nothing because it's cheaper for the government. That is so government of them, isn't it? Does kind of sound like a couple of real estate agents and lenders I know though, right? Maybe that's a cheap shot. Hey, listen guys, you will see Frank next week after he gets to spend 3 days with his wife doing whatever she wants to do. And if you're meeting us for the first time, listen, we're going to give you tips and things going on in real estate and lending every single day of the week for free, no strings attached, so you might want to subscribe. And if you watch our show, man, I'll tell you this really helps us out. Share it with other lenders, real estate agents, appraisers, they're kind of grumpy, title people, anybody in this industry. Again, it helps us out. With that said, I look forward to seeing you mañana. Later, skaters.